money. So we have seen this study before. It's a completely randomized experiment using college students who were randomly assigned to one of 3 experimental conditions in a lab game study. And the researchers recorded the time that each participant waited before seeking help, recorded in seconds. And that's the data we have in the data file money psychology.csv. In this data file, we have one column for our response variable, the time to seek help. And we have one column that indicates which condition the individuals were randomly assigned to before the complex task in which they could ask for help. So we are going to use Crunchit to obtain a graph of the data and the summary statistics. And because we have 3 different groups, you will want to display that information by group. So that means we're going to use the group feature in the box plot and in the summary statistics. Now for the box plot, you will notice that by default, Crunchit does not provide the axis label, which is absolutely important. So you will have to enter that yourself. So in this case, time to seek help and include the units measured in seconds. So in seconds or sec. For the descriptive statistics, you will also want to obtain those findings by group. So now that we have this information, we can describe the overall distribution of time to seek help in each of those 3 groups and compare and contrast them. Overall, we can see that times to seek help range from about 50, 60 seconds to about 600 seconds. The distribution of time to seek help in all 3 groups overlapped. So the differences are not extremely large or extremely substantial. But we do see that clearly the distribution of time to seek help for participants who were primed with a neutral word task tend to be lower overall than the distribution of time to seek help for those participants who were primed with money attributes, either money words or fake Monopoly money. Now, based on the summary statistics, we can see that the longest time that anyone in the entire study waited before seeking help was, and you could obtain the summary statistics for the entire data set, or you can just see that the largest value in those 3 groups is going to be the largest value overall. So the longest time for anyone was 609 seconds. Now, we want to answer this question, which is interesting here. For participants in the neutral group, 25% waited at least some amount of time before seeking help. So we're looking at the rightmost box plot, or the summary statistics for the 3rd row. And here we want 25%. So that's going to be one of the segments of the box plot, because the box plot breaks down the distribution into 4 equal quarters of 25% each. So the question is, which 25% are we looking for? And this, we're looking for the 25% who waited at least, so at a minimum, some amount of time. That means some amount of time or more. And we want this to represent 25% of the distribution. So 25% who waited at least, at the very minimum, some amount of time. This is the last 25% of the distribution. So the 25% longest, which means this is the range of Q3 and up. And so the answer here is that for participants in the neutral group, 25% waited at least 281.5 seconds before seeking help. In contrast, 25% of participants in the money group waited at least 471 seconds. So a much longer amount of time before seeking help.